with Miles Garrett. That's what y'all say.
Your favorite rapper of all time. Go!
Biggie Smalls is the illest.
Occasionally, I do something called the 5-star shout out. I'm gonna say this line. I'm not gonna say it because I don't believe in it. I don't believe in you can't make a you know what I'm talking about.
Well. Good morning, everybody. How you doing? Welcome to the Side Jawn. I know we're a little fashionably late. We had a couple technical difficulties, but we back in the building. We are here. I am Dennis Holmes, the Ignorant Thinker Podcast. I'm here with my chocolate girl. My fault. I'm here with the chocolate girl. That's right. This is time for.
Good morning. That's right.
Hold on,
Gotta say it right. That's
Hold
right.
on. And don't forget, 50 days of chocolate, y'all. 50 days of chocolate.
That's right.
Yeah.
5-0.
50 days of
That's
chocolate.
right. And what's the day? Today is day 13.
Oh, I don't know what day it is. You would know. I wouldn't know that.
Mm-hmm. It's day 13.
Yeah. Now, question, right? Did you open the box or you didn't open the box?
I haven't opened the box. That's why I was hoping you got my voicemail because I got home really late. And then as soon as I got home, I had just enough time to change clothes to go back out because, I'm celebrating every day.
You know.
So, so I was waiting. R&B told me to come out. So he took me out last night and it was fun. Had a good time.
That's beautiful.
Had a good time. So I'm sounding a little dry in the throat because I had a little bit to drink last night. So.
Yeah, now listen, we got some special guests in the building, but they are special. They are special, but they more like family because we're here for the political show. So this is more the political aspect of, the Side Jawn. Like I told y'all, we hit y'all many different flavors. We ain't just talking about, regular stuff. We actually on here talking about politics and the way it's moving, how we are the world. So Fredrick is in the building, ladies and gentlemen.
Good morning.
Okay, that's all he got. Nice soft temper. I'm just letting y'all know that is not who he is.
That one word thing.
Yeah, that is not who he is.
I don't have anything to plug.
Yeah. Also, we got Marcus. Marcus, the alphabets is in the building, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Coffee Talk himself, and as you can see, he's drinking coffee as usual.
Third like
special beans or something.
Nah, it's that butter pecan coffee creamer. Y'all got to try that. It's incredible, man.
I don't know.
I'm not a butter pecan fan.
I didn't used to drink. I did not start drinking coffee till I went in the military because I needed it. It was either that or them damn NoDoz, them 5-hour energy drinks, and I wasn't doing that. I wasn't doing that. Yeah, that was a little bit too much. But now I like it. I love me some coffee now. But what's up, everybody? Happy to be here. Always nice to chop it up with y'all. It's nice to be versatile. We start off with sports and stuff like that, but there is some real world stuff going on, and I always enjoy coming together with people. We've done me and Sharon and Dennis and my guy Fredrick. We've done shows, and I always look forward to this. coming up in here and talking about some real world stuff and conversations that need to be had. I think sometimes we get so distracted with stuff. It's nice to come in here and talk about some serious stuff. So thank you for allowing me to be here. It's always a treat to come on here with y'all on my favorite Saturday morning show.
Who we are?
Sure. This is my first time seeing you since the draft stuff.
I know. Yeah.
I had looked in there. You and Ramona and Ethan tweeted and seeing y'all over there. That was pretty cool, man.
Oh my God. It was.
I still ain't seen that picture.
You didn't see that picture? It's all up in the.
I still ain't seen that picture.
Well, I have to send mine to you, but
I thought for sure you'd be there, Dennis.
I was still in training and so I had some things I had to do.
How do the people in Pittsburgh? Now that's you're in Pennsylvania. And I don't know. How do the people in Pittsburgh treat people from Philly? How does that go?
I don't know. I ain't been to Pittsburgh in a long time. Last time I was in Pittsburgh was what, late 90s?
Yeah, because like even when you're in certain states and you go to another city in the same state, like Houston, like I live in El Paso, like Houston and El Paso is like totally different. El Paso and Dallas is totally different. You know what I'm saying? So it's I was just wondering how that worked out for y'all.
Yeah. Because it's crazy because going to Pittsburgh is like 4 to 6 hours, depending on who's driving and what's going on, right? But going to New York is 2 hours.
Okay.
That's how like weird it is. Going to New York is 2 hours. Going to DC is 2 hours. Going to Baltimore is an hour and a half. So
yeah, it's crazy over there because it's like we're here. I'll be trying to tell people like how big the state of Texas is. I'm actually closer to Fredrick, who lives in Vegas, than I am to Houston, Texas, and I'm in the same state. That's how big Texas is.
Yeah, Texas is huge.
I'm closer to Fredrick, and he lives in Nevada, than I am to Houston, Texas, which is in the same state. Yeah. Or Laredo, Texas. Laredo's like all the way down at the bottom of the state. So it's just it's kind of weird.
And probably the way they got things mapped out too. That's another thing. Like you got to go through so much. Like it's probably a straighter shoot for you to get to Vegas, which ain't nothing. To hit a certain highway, you're there. But for you to go to Houston, you probably got to go through this toll, that toll, this way. It's probably
Oh, it ain't no tolls in Texas.
My bad.
The speed limit over here in some spots is 80 miles an hour. It's 80 miles an hour in some spots in Texas. So yeah, it's like that. It's just wide open spaces, man. So
yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, because you're close to Mexico. That's right.
I live right on the U.S.-Mexican border. Right on, you can look over from my house and see a big Mexican flag across the border. True story, man.
What up, everybody? How y'all doing? Great to see you. I'm glad everybody here. Sharon, so how we starting this thing, Sharon?
First of all, both the way that we usually started is asking how our weeks went. So our guests can go first. Fred, Marcus, how has your week been?
Week was good. I went to Tampa to go watch my first Rays game at Tropicana Field, and we beat the Red Sox, who I hate, so that worked out well. Other than that, just at work. But yeah.
Oh, so you like the Tampa Bay baseball team and hockey team?
So here's the thing: I despise baseball.
Yeah,
but it's more bearable when you have a team you can pay attention to. Because if you're not paying attention, it just seems like baseball go on forever. But when you got a team you can look in on and be like, okay, how are we doing? Yada yada yada, whatever. But yeah, so I was born in Tampa, so but again, I was like 7 months old when we left Tampa, so it's not like growing up I was all like, oh, Tampa's in my roots or nothing like that. So as I got older, when they got a hockey team in '92, it's like, okay, well, I don't really mess with hockey, but the city I was born in got a hockey team, so I'll root for them. And then when we got the baseball team in '98, I was like, all right, well, I'll root for them. Because before that, I know I rooted for the A's a little bit because I always like Ricky Henderson, but I was never a fan of the A's. But so yeah. And I was like, I get free flights now. Let me just fly out there, go catch a game at the Trop, which I know a lot of people got bad things to say about the Trop. I liked it. Now I know the roof is a little bit the new because they had the hurricane, so they put the new roof in, and it's a lot more translucent, lets a lot of natural light in. I like it. It's an older stadium, but I liked it. I ain't have no issues with it. I'm not a baseball purist, so I don't know, people don't like the dimensions of the field or whatever, which I always thought is weird. I'm like, how is it y'all the only major sport and y'all don't have uniform playing surface? Which I always thought was weird, but whatever.
Because I think we got one of the easiest home run hitting field. No, be like that.
It's weird to me. Like every football field, 100 yards, was it 51, 52 yards wide? Every basketball court, 90 something feet. Every hockey rink, same size. Baseball, like, oh, we got this long, we're in this way, and then Boston, we just gonna put this massive wall here. And I'm like, why are y'all stadiums not uniform? It's weird to me, but baseball's a whole other thing that I don't usually.
Yeah. I'm gonna keep my comments to myself on baseball. But go ahead, Marcus. How was your week?
It started off okay on Monday when the Spurs won a game and looked really good. Thank you, Donald Trump, very much. Thank you, Donald Trump, very much for going there. If you want to go back next, if you want to go back on the next game, you go more. We appreciate Donald Trump going there and ruining everything for them. I appreciate if you want to go back there and help them lose another game. We appreciate that. But Wednesday, man, Wednesday. So that's what it's like to be a Falcons fan. That's what it's like to be a Falcons fan. 28-3. That's what it's like.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what it felt.
That's pretty much.
I was in the Chicago airport and I said that I was like, you know who was loving life right now? Matt Ryan, because Matt Ryan just watched that game. Like, okay, y'all can come up off me a little bit.
That was
the best team that I've ever watched that had nothing to do with any of my teams.
Yeah,
it was very un-San Antonio like too.
And to me, this is where I think that they really miss Popovich. Like, to me, Popovich is one of the greatest coaches that's ever lived in any sport, let alone basketball. That he wouldn't have ever allowed. Why are you still shooting threes and you're up by 27 points? Mitch Johnson should have been fired for that alone. But look, I'm happy for the Knicks fans. I use this term, cornerstone franchises in football: Cowboys, 49ers, Steelers, basketball, Lakers, Celtics. The Knicks, even though they haven't won in 50 years, I consider the Knicks one of those type of teams, like a cornerstone. And the league is a better league when the Knicks are good.
That's
so
true.
I'm happy for them, and even just not at the expense of my Spurs, but it is what it is. But it's been a very entertaining series, and seeing somebody like June, I know June's a Knicks fan, seeing him be happy. I'm happy for him. I'm not a hater, but I don't sit up here and make excuses and say it's rigged and the refs are against us and stuff like that. You got outplayed. Spurs, you got outplayed. You got outcoached. That's just what it is, and that's cool. And I'm looking forward to the game tonight. Definitely.
Mm-hmm. How was your week, Dennis?
My week was going by pretty good. Things is getting better. I'm all right. Nothing to complain about.
That's good. My week has been fabulous because, like Dennis mentioned, I'm celebrating 50 days of chocolate, which is 50 days celebrating my birthday, y'all. If y'all don't know, but I'm on day 13. I'm on day 13, and I love it. What's wrong, Fred? What's up? What's up?
Hey, I mean, 50 days of celebration.
Yes.
Do you? All right.
Yeah, June 1st. It's from June 1st until July 20th. And the reason I stop on the 20th is because that's my son's birthday. So that's his time. So I don't steal from his time. So that's 50 days. Exactly.
That's what's up.
I'm gonna say this.
All other people's time you done stole for another 49 days, but hey, you do you. All right.
It's all right.
24 hours. My birthday.
50 days.
24
50
hours.
straight days. And everybody is excited because I haven't been able to do this for like 5 or 6 years because I've been so sick, most years. So this is the first time I'm able to do this again in about 5 or 6 years. 6 years. Yeah, it's been 6 years. So I'm excited.
What's up?
I'm a happy girl. So my week's been great. But anyway, we can get started with the political show. I think Dennis gave y'all the subjects and all that. And I actually wanted to start with you, Dennis, with the amendment. What is that? The
25th Amendment?
25th Amendment. Okay. Yeah, can you explain to the people what it is and why it's kind of relevant right now?
I'm gonna read it to the people because the 25th Amendment to the United States Constitution outlines what happens if the U.S. president is unable to serve or if the office becomes vacant. Now, let me give you an example of what I mean. George W. Bush temporarily transferred power to Dick Cheney during his medical procedures. Joe Biden temporarily transferred power to Kamala Harris during his colonoscopy in 2021. I didn't know he got a colonoscopy. Didn't know that.
Well, I mean, he need to. He old.
So you're supposed to get it in your 40s. You're 83. You 83 years old. 40 years old.
Let me ask y'all this: are we comfortable with having a president under 35?
Who am I?
Yeah.
In this day and hell no.
The next president be under 35 years old.
No.
My response to that is, what's the worst that can happen?
That's what I'm saying, but I want to hear what y'all
listen. Okay, let me answer that. So the worst that can happen, the worst that can happen is what we have now.
Exactly.
But that doesn't mean you continue having the worst just because it's already happened once. That don't mean you continue the badness. You still need to right the ship. And I'm not trying to add more bad on top of bad. So hell no. 35, no.
What if it's better? I'm saying, we see how bad it could be. What if a 35-year-old goes in there, and what if it's better?
It's not going to be better.
It depends.
I'm just telling you, it's not going to be better.
We just can't assume that everybody under the age of 35. No,
yes, I can. Yes, I can. Let me tell you how. Look at the educational system in this nation.
Yeah.
Half of the people under 40 don't even know how the government works. But you're going to trust them to make decisions on hell to the no.
Okay, but let me ask you, on the flip side, let me ask you this. So you have education, which is what you have learned in a formal setting, right? What about just common ass sense?
Oh, then definitely not.
But again, I agree with you because I use my old man card all the time, and I'm not a big fan of young people. But I will say we can't just assume that everybody under 35 is just vapid.
Well, okay, so nothing is absolute.
It looks like it's going to be worse than what we got now.
Nothing is absolute, but yes, it can be worse. When you have bad, that's bad. But when you put more bad on top of bad, that is worse. And I'm saying, why would we want to put bad on top of what's already the worst that we've ever seen?
Here's what you have to think, though.
There's no reason to go in that direction.
It depends on who the 35 is. Hang on, though. If this is 35 and sexy, yeah, give me a little sexy.
I don't give a damn. No, I'm not trusting this nation. I'm not trusting this nation to somebody who can't even tell me what the 3 branches of fucking government are. Yeah, they don't even know who their mayor is. They don't even know who their governor. They don't know, and they don't. And a large number of them don't care to know.
That was a point I was going to use, Sharon. Like,
no,
most of the presidents and stuff like that, they had jobs before they became politicians. Okay, you're a lawyer or you're a doctor. Whatever your career field is. Have you held any other any other office before? You're 35. You're now.
So what if they're currently 29 years old, mayor,
What have you accomplished in 29 years?
No.
Now look, there's always
they're the mayor.
an
They're
exception.
the mayor. So there's a whole city that.
Okay, I was reading this story recently. It was this girl. She was married like I don't know, like 30 years. What have you accomplished in that? Now there's always an exception to anything. Alexander the Great, he took over the world, and I think he was still like a teenager. He was a general. Okay, so there are always exceptions.
Exceptions.
But I look at overall, there are certain stuff I would not want. We have people that are like Sharon said, and we see we're viewing this through the lens of a 40-year-old or 50-year-old, but to me this generation here, but it is kind of dysfunctional, but in a way this generation has gone through things that think just in the past. We're 2026. Think about the past 25 years, what these youngsters have gone through. You went through 9/11, okay? You went through a global pandemic. They've gone through like so much. Y2K. Y'all remember? A lot of people don't remember Y2K. They thought all the computers were going to crash. These kids have gone through a lot more than a lot of the stuff that we've done. A lot of the stuff that we experienced. Could somebody do it? Maybe. Would I want somebody to do that? No. But look, you have extremes on both sides. I also don't want SEPTA, Octa, and what's for not. Ain't Grassley like in his 90s? Grassley, he's one of the senators. Grassley's like 92 years old. Mitch McConnell sitting over, he just frees up during damn interviews. Mitch McConnell, he just stand there and just stare at the camera. There are extremes on both sides, but I also think you could have somebody that's too young that doesn't really know what they're doing. What I want, I love AOC. I do not want AOC to be president. I would not want AOC to be president. But I don't like 83-year-old people being president either. So we got to find a middle ground there.
Let me just pose a scenario. Let's say, I'm going to use an analogy of football, right? Let's say you have an organization that is very well regarded. America, very well regarded organization historically, right? And they're looking for a new leader, a new coach. And in the hiring process, you got all the names going around that the usual suspects, Marcus, as you alluded to, guys that have coached here, coached there, that have this on their resume. And they bring in a person, they interview this person who's a relatively unknown person with a short resume, very young. And hey, you know what? We kind of like this guy. We're going to hire this person. And everybody's like, oh my God, he's young. Oh my God, he hasn't done this. Oh my God, he hasn't done that. But they hire him anyway. And then like 12, 15 years later, he resigns, having never had a losing season and winning a Super Bowl, Mike Tomlin. Sometimes a young person without a lot of experience with the willingness to do the job works out well. Ain't that right, Sharon?
Wait, Marcus. Let him finish.
Pretty well, huh, Sharon?
Okay, I'm very glad that you brought that up. But the reason why your analogy fails is because there's no minimum age requirement to be a head coach in the NFL. There is. Let me finish. But there is a requirement to be president. So it is what it is. And the question was, would I desire to have somebody under that age requirement? That's what this is about. This is not about young people versus an older, unproven coach. That's not what this is about. Great example in otherwise, but you're comparing something where that doesn't have an age requirement to one that does. That's the thing.
Well, if we're going to use, hang on now, let me say, if you're going to use that analogy, you're saying just jumping straight to head coach. What do you usually have to be a head coach?
Coordinator.
A coordinator, your offensive coordinator, your defensive coordinator, your passing game coordinator, you're a special teams coordinator. So you don't just jump from I used to be a player to being a head coach. You usually have to go through some steps. You have to go. No, but let me ask you this question, since you had a question for us. So you're talking about, well, age ain't nothing but a number to me. If you were getting a surgery, would you want a brand new doctor straight out of medical school, an open heart surgery, or would you want a seasoned doctor who's done it a few times? Please answer that. Would you want somebody straight? Would you want somebody straight out?
You got to say it the right way. Do we want a seasoned, sleepy goddamn doctor, or do we want a young, energetic, not knowing it all?
And that was my point with the extremes. We have the extremes to people who are on the borderline Alzheimer's to people who have no experience. We have to find the middle ground. I don't want somebody right out of high school being the president of the United States any more than I want somebody who should be in a nursing home being the president of the United States.
Right.
We got to find that. We have to find that middle ground.
Somebody right after high school, because you said.
I mean, we are talking about the leader of the free world. We're not talking about dog catcher. We're talking about president. And I'm sorry, my answer still stays no. You're not changing my mind.
In order to get to ascend in U.S. politics to the point where you have the ability to run for president, right? Because like you said, like AOC when she first came to Congress was not going to be president. You got to be in politics for a while. Mm-hmm. What happens the longer you in politics? Most likely, that's the dirtier you get, the more corrupt you get, right? So a younger person that hasn't been in politics as long, they ain't got as many, you know what I'm saying? So there's a
but you have to have there's steps. Like you don't just go. You have to be a senator or a representative. You don't in any job. You just talked about your guy Shanahan. He was a coordinator for his daddy, and he was over there. That whole coaching staff with the Washington Commanders. It was him, McVay, and Matt LaFleur, and all of them over there. You don't just step up right to the top and just get the top job. There are steps, and there's a progression to go through that.
But what I'm saying is, here's the thing. What's the definition of insanity?
Doing the same thing over.
America's insane. We keep electing people that have been entrenched in politics for almost their whole life. You are dirty. American politics is dirty. Lie down with dogs, wake up with fleas. The longer you've been laying with dogs, that's why people talking about like how corrupt Hillary Clinton is. Yeah, she has to be because she's in a dirty organization. But she's a woman.
But she wasn't president. But she wasn't. But there were just two presidents ago.
Politics. We know politics is grimy.
Just two. People forget. People forget.
Giving it less time.
Okay. Just two presidents ago, we had a 40-something-year-old president in Barack Obama.
Right.
So let's not act like this is. It's always. JFK was young. Okay. So again, you got to find that. You got to find that. But even Barack Obama, they got on him. Oh, he's just a community organizer. They failed to remember that he was also a senator from Illinois. So he had some. But you don't want now. If he was just a community organizer and that's all the experience he had, then we would have some questions. You have to find. I don't want somebody who's been in politics for 50 years any more than I want somebody who's just coming into the game to be the president.
Okay, so the age requirement is 35. I had to look this up. Yeah. And you had to have been born
35.
And you had to have been born in the United States.
Right.
Yeah,
which is why
for 14 years of your life.
Yeah. Which is why Arnold Schwarzenegger, even though he was a governor of California, people forget this, he couldn't be president. Let him run for president. That's why he wasn't allowed. So there are, just like in any other job, there are requirements, and also just like when you're taking classes in a university, you have to take prerequisites. You're not jumping straight from basic college math to trigonometry. There's other steps that you have to take to get to that point.
Well, the last thing I want to say about this question is, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sticking by my no. I'm sticking by my no for a reason. And the first thing I pointed to was the educational system in this country. Republicans have effectively destroyed it little by little. And
well, you don't like Linda McMahon?
We have people, like I said, under a certain age that don't know anything about civics. They have no knowledge. And I don't care if they're an attorney. There was a woman who was an attorney. She lives right here in Durham. I'm not saying her name. She did not know about the checks and balances of the U.S. Senate and the House and the Senate of Congress. Didn't know about checks and balances and how that works. She was one of those people running around Durham saying that the president can do whatever he wants to do because he's the president.
Well, and I'm like, you just use the former AG. Look at the former AG of Pam Bondi. Look at the former AG.
Well, that's what I'm saying. And it's important. And the reason why there are some young people who are not offended by what's happening with this current president is because they don't understand checks and balances and the need for it. So am I willing to trust the nation in the hands of that generation of people? No. Now, are there exceptions? Well, quite naturally, there is. I'll even use myself as an example. Because when I was under 30, I knew a whole lot more about politics than the average adult. Because I had been following it since I was 10 years old. But guess what? I wouldn't want anybody to make me president just because I had that knowledge at 30.
Well, 35. We're just saying 35.
Well, no, I'm saying at 30, I wouldn't want somebody to tell me, Sharon, you should run for president. We need to get rid of this so Sharon can be president because she knows so much about politics. So what?
And see,
me at 30 is not me now. And I'm telling you, me at 30, whole bunch of stuff would have gone awry.
I'm not going to go back to your
yes, just because, yes, there are exceptions to the rule. No.
So let me ask this question. What does the president need to know to be president? Because we forget, like to your point, Sharon, you brought up checks. It's not like when you become president, they hand you the keys to the country and just send you off. You still got a cabinet and advisors and blah, blah, blah. So what does the person who is actually president, what qualifications do they need? Because nobody's going to be an expert on economics, foreign policy, military.
Okay, you're right. But
you need to have leadership qualities. That's one. Number two, you need to have some type of ration about yourself, which is the reason why I was like stunned when these idiots selected that asshole that we got in office right now to be their candidate all them years ago. I just could not, as much as I loathe Republicans, I even thought that they wouldn't stoop to that low, but they did.
And also, here's a power that the president has that's the most dangerous power. It's not even really the nuclear weapons. Okay, having the football, the briefcase with the codes on it. The most destructive thing that Donald Trump has done to this country has been the Supreme Court. There are two powers, and I really wouldn't want a young person to have. Selecting Supreme Court justices, and the other power that he has abused is the pardoning power. That's the two things that have been the most destructive. This dude is letting neo-Nazis walk free. And then being able to select your cabinet members. Do you know who his original AG pick was? And even the Republicans said, hell no. On this second term, do you know who he wanted before Pam Bondi? Do you know who he wanted to be the Attorney General? I know. Do anybody else here know? Because I know. Matt Gaetz. He wanted Matt Gaetz from Florida, a known pedophile, to be the Attorney General. Pam Bondi, as bad as she was not his first choice. So can you imagine? And then you're putting Supreme Court justices. See, this is the biggest power that presidents have. You get to select SCOTUS judges that serve, in the words of the NWO. Y'all used to watch WCW, the NWO
for life.
For life.
So what is
they get to serve four? So can you imagine a 30-year-old? All my buddies. I'm gonna put them in cabinet positions. You're gonna be in charge of the secretary. You're gonna be the secretary of war. You're gonna be the secretary of education. You barely got any education. Donald Trump is putting the most unqualified people. He's 80. He's 80.
Purposely.
80 purposely trying to
doing it.
Kash Patel in charge of the FBI. So yes, there's an experience factor that goes on with, and some of these messes that are being made are going to take generations to overcome.
That's
generations.
Right.
Because
so it's not really about
somebody under 35 couldn't navigate out of that.
Right?
Sorry.
It sounds like it's not really about the age, it's about the person. Because here's the thing: we know we can see Donald Trump mental decline in real time. But lest we forget, his first term, he was still sharp. And was he or was he not a terrible person?
Yes.
But he was also grown and had all the experience. And
but so all of those people that he
you are is a lot more important than
all of those
on the planet.
One part of it was because he was trying to run again. Now that he is basically a lame duck, he doesn't give a damn. He don't give a damn now. I'm 80 years old. I've lived my life. I have lived my life. You can pollute all you want. Y'all can go commit whatever crimes that y'all want because I'm just going to pardon you at the end of my term. In the first term, he was somewhat restrained, but even then, all of those people, they were like, this guy is unfit for office. He's unfit. These are when your own vice president is like, this dude should not be president. He nearly got his own vice president hung on January the 6th. All of those people, none of them came back. Not one. Rex Tillerson.
Age, experience, a fully formed prefrontal cortex, all of that. So it seems to me like the age of a person is less important than the type.
Wait. Let me say this. I didn't agree with you when you said his first term he was mentally with it. I knew because I talked on this show with Dennis about that his first term. Now I don't know what y'all saw, but Sharon saw it.
I'm gonna tell you when I knew he was stupid on his first term.
Not intelligence.
Now
I'm talking about having a mentally incapacitated sliding into dementia. I said that first term.
Well, I don't know about that.
Pointed out examples.
I'm going to point out what I saw.
I'm saying his appointees. His appointees in his first term are light years ahead of these goofballs that he has now.
Well, let me on his first term, there was a hurricane in Puerto Rico, if I'm not mistaken, San Juan, Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
And then he threw like a paper towel or something and said they'll be all right.
Yep.
Yeah, he was in a room full of people, and he had
paper towels on. But then
I'm looking at this, and I'm saying to people, Barack Obama could never. That's the first thing I said.
Yeah. That was the first one. So
he would never, but he could never.
So then COVID came around.
Then I was like, wait a minute, he did this, and y'all not checking him for this? And then he did something else, and I was like,
hold on, Sharon. Then COVID came around, and he said, "You'll be all right. Just drink some bleach."
Then he was like, "Well, this is a Democratic hoax. This is a liberal hoax.
Yeah.
The liberals are lying about this. They're just using it as a political." I'm like, "What are you talking about? What you talking about?"
Here's the thing about it. When it eventually. This will be over, okay? Eventually, this will be over. All these
but see, Marcus,
and all these people who were the enablers, all these enablers and stuff.
Marcus.
10 years from now, listen to what I'm saying. Just like with Nazis and stuff like that, all of them will be like, I never really liked him. They'll deny it. They're gonna be like,
it don't matter. We got him on record. I don't want to hear it. Too much video. Too much footage. Don't want to hear it.
It doesn't matter because again, like people have been pointing out lately, a lot of the reason why America is where it is because we didn't punish the Confederacy. So what makes us think that all the people that are in cahoots with Donald Trump, when this man is no longer around, whether politically or physically, and like to Marcus's point, oh, I wasn't, whatever. Even if you were, what is America gonna do? We don't punish people. If you are shitty to the correct people, we don't care. If you are shitty to rich and powerful, you get punished. If you are shitty to brown people, black people, women, the LGBTQA plus community, poor people, we don't care. So
they don't.
To Marcus's point, when this is all over, we have record for all these people. But what are we gonna do?
Part of this is whoever runs in 2028. Part of what will get me to support them is how you plan to deal with these people. This don't need to be no Richard Nixon type situation. Oh, we want to try to. I agree with you, Fredrick, as far as not punishing the Confederacy. Right after the Confederacy, I've been like, okay, all you Southern states, you get one senator for the next 100 years. You get one senator because all the states get two senators. You get one senator for 100 years. All you Confederate generals, I would have lined them up, and that would have been the end of that. Robert E. Lee I would have marched him out, and it would have been like all of them right there. But they glorified it. That's whoever the next president is, and whoever that might be. Part of for me to support them, it will be like, how do you plan to punish these people? I am so pissed off at Merrick Garland. I can't even see straight. As soon as Biden won, it should have been like, oh well, we're trying to not to give appearances and blah 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 blah. Nah, dude, you should have. He should never been allowed to run. He should never been allowed to run. But we are. But Dennis, go ahead with your 25th Amendment thing. We didn't got off. Go ahead with the 25th.
No. The only thing I had to say to you, to your 10 years, I was like, in 10 years, what Trump has done will probably be like because we'll probably get a worse Republican president. Because I don't know about y'all, but in my lifetime, it seemed like these Republican presidents just keep getting worse. That's what it seemed like to me. Like right now, we're talking about Trump. We ain't doing too much talking about Bush, in his reign, because Trump's has been worse.
But see, here's the thing. Here's the thing about it. And God, you're making me sound like I'm supporting these people. I'm not. Even though I didn't agree with some of the stuff they did. Look, I went to war under Bush. Okay, I went to war. I did 3 combat tours because of Bush. Okay. I still believe that they love this country.
Right. There's a difference.
I still believe. I don't think that Bush wanted to ruin this country. Now, you can question some of the stuff he did, but I don't believe that Bush or Reagan hated this country. I don't believe Nixon hated this country because they went to him after Watergate. The Republicans, they went to him. They're like, either you resign or we're going to impeach you. We're going to make sure you're out of office. This current group of Republicans, they would have let Richard Nixon walk. They would have been like, let him run again. That's where we're at. Yeah. That's where we're at. So to say that I agree with you to the point that they're getting worse, but you said Bush was bad. I think Bush loved this country. I think John McCain, a former POW, he loved this country. Bush Sr. served in World War II as a fighter pilot. Okay. So I don't believe that these people hated this country. I think Donald Trump views the United States as like everything with him is transactional. Everything he does is what can I get out of this? Okay, I'm gonna drain the treasury. I'm gonna start wars. I'm gonna just seize power. I'm gonna put my name on every building or whatnot. So that's the difference there. The next Democratic president needs to be like, everything that he's put up, if he builds this arch or this bunker or whatever, I'm gonna tear it all down. You can disagree with this country and be like, I don't like some of the things that go on in this country, but when you say I hate this country, all this place is trash. Any other place? Look, I've been all over the world. This is still the best thing smoking. Can it be better? Yes. But there are some people out there that I believe do love this country. I think somebody like you just have some people, and the mistake that these people try to make, okay, and I think this needs to be said in a public forum. People like Marco Rubio, okay, what they're looking at is like, okay, if I just stay a little bit close to power and outlast this guy, if I'm able to become president or something like that, I'm just kind of like I'm trying to stick around because you still got to be close to power to get power, okay? So Marco Rubio's like, okay, Marco Rubio's a really smart person, but he's a bootlicker. Ted Cruz is a bootlicker. All these people are bootlickers, and they look at like, okay, if I stay close to him, I can kind of rein this dude in. You can't, because loyalty to him is a one-way street, and a lot of these people, they're finding out the people who went against him on the Epstein files, all of them got primary. Right here in Texas, John Cornyn, he got primary. Nancy Mace just got primary. MTG, Marjorie Taylor Greene, she got all of them people that they just thought that, okay, if I'm loyal enough to him, if I'm loyal enough to him, then you know I can make an impact. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, well,
but the 25th Amendment is there for protection. It's there for protection, but the 25th Amendment also, I believe the vice president has to do it in like 2/3 of Congress. That would never happen.
Well,
because
and
then if it does happen, the vice president becomes president immediately.
Right, but then I was told
is going to do whatever Trump tells him to do behind closed doors. So,
but I was told that J.D. Vance was worse than is it J.D. Vance? Am I saying his name right? J.D. Vance.
Yeah, that's his name.
I was told that J.D. Vance was worse than Trump.
He is.
Because if J.D. Vance becomes president, everybody in Trump that supports Trump and Trump, J.D. Vance is going to do whatever they tell him to do. Because J.D. Vance is the same person that 5-6 years ago was saying all the things that I would say about Trump, how he's a horrible, despicable person, and blah 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 blah. Now all of a sudden, you the third hair on his left testicle. Make that make sense.
Well, you know how. And guess what? J.D. Vance is really young. J.D. Vance is really young too.
Yeah, but here's what I heard some people are saying in their circles. They would evoke the 25th Amendment, but they also would deal with the rest of his cabinet at the same time. Exactly. And I'm thinking, how can they do that? I don't see a way clear, but supposedly behind the scenes, that's what they're trying to see. If there's some loopholes they can get through and get rid of Vance too at the same time.
Because this guy, he's talked about in public speeches saying he's gonna run for a third term, laughing and joking and stuff like that. Steve Bannon said that he's going on shows. Oh, he's gonna run for a third term.
Steve Bannon is serious about that.
So they were talking about a hypothetical situation was, okay, yes, you can only run for 2 terms. But what if J.D. Vance ran for president and Donald Trump ran as his vice president, and then J.D. Vance won, and then J.D. Vance stepped down? We are entering constitutional crisis type stuff. That's like, because the forefathers never imagined that we would have this type of corruption.
Right.
They never
imagined that we would elect somebody so devoid of any integrity for the presidency. Yeah. It's like they didn't put it into law. They didn't write it down because they didn't think they had to. The thought never came to their mind that some idiot would get in office and just be allowed to just run ramshot all over the nation the way that he's doing. I mean, every day when a headline comes out that they did something else, the first thing I think, who thought to do this? The mind of these people, the little nth degree thing that they're tweaking and messing with, and they're stacking. Each one is stacking up to slowly dismantle democracy.
But the thing about it is,
I'm gonna say this about Trump. I don't think that he hates America. I don't think that's it. I don't think he hates America. I think he just loves the thought of him being a dictator more. And at the cost of that takes a back seat to him being a dictator. That's his whole goal. His whole goal is he wants to be the one at the head of all. That's it. And he's willing to sacrifice the democracy to get it. He doesn't care at all.
You can look at his relationship.
That's like saying, I want to date you, but I want you to get rid of your son.
Right.
That's what it's like. And so
that's what it's like.
For you to tell me that, so he does hate America, because you're basically saying you want me to hate part of me. That is part of me. I want to date you, but get rid of your son. So it is a hatred for this country.
Well, I'm not saying that he doesn't. I'm not saying that he doesn't hate America like he does, like an emotion, like he hates America. No, what I mean is the love for America or the care for America takes a backseat to everything that he wants for himself. That's what I'm saying. Maybe I didn't say it the right way, but that's the way. That's what I mean.
But that's what I'm saying. If I say I love my wife, but I don't come home on the weekend, and I take my check that we use for our mortgage, and I go out and I go get prostitutes and go buy a bunch of beer, do I love my wife, even though we're still married?
Well, according to me, you don't. But according to you, you do. But according to me, no, you do not.
That's what I'm saying. Though. That's the example that I'm giving you.
Okay,
that's what I'm saying. Because if I love something, I'm going to do something to preserve it and honor it. If I do all of those things, I love you, but I come home and whip your ass every day. I love you, but I come and I cheat on you. I'm like Mr. from The Color Purple. That is not love. That's not love. You know what I'm saying? I get it. I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. He hates what makes America great. He's like, make America great again. So what time period are we talking about here? When there was slavery, when women couldn't own property?
Yeah, well, we all know what time. We all know what time that they're talking about. But we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that part later. But let's move on from this topic. But somebody put a comment, history, live in a capitalist country. See, I think some people tend to confuse democracy with capitalism, with socialism, with communism. I don't think people know what capitalism is. And they blame the system of capitalism for the problems. And it's not the system that's the problem. It's the people that are operating the system that's the problem.
Sister Sheila, June, what up, y'all?
History living.
That's how I feel about that. But let's move on to the next topic. The next topic, I think, was Fredrick talking about the election. So we've got all this corruption in elections. They're trying to suppress voters and take away the right to vote. They're doing all this redistricting stuff. Plus, let's not forget that Trump loyalists bought the company that produced the voting machines. Do y'all know that? Did y'all know that?
Smartmatic?
No, not that one. The other one, Dominion.
The Dominion, because they got. Yes. That's why Fox had to pay that $780.
I know this happened after the verdict, like within the past year or so, 18 months. A Trump loyalist bought that company. Yeah. And I keep thinking about the buzzwords I keep hearing these Republicans say about the elections and their desperation to control this upcoming election. And my question was, what can we do? What can we all collectively do to ensure that we have a fair election come November? That was what I wanted you to talk about, Fredrick.
You want the honest? You want me to sugarcoat it? Give you the honest answer?
No, we have you here because we want your honesty.
We want the damn truth. What can we all do? Fire. Burn this bitch down. What will we all do? Nothing. We gonna get on Facebook and complain and do all the things. Nothing. Because America ain't built for that. And the only people in America that are built for that make up about 13 to 14% of the population. And we have given America the blueprint of how you get things done. And every time we do that, we are met with ridicule and scorn. Because in a perfect world, we always say, oh, violence isn't the answer. Violence doesn't solve everything. Violence solves everything. I'm going to ask 3 reasonable, intelligent adults right here. Name something in America where a group of people who are being shit on made the situation to where they were no longer being shit on without the use of violence or the threat thereof. I'll wait. All of us.
The Civil Rights Act of 1964. The Civil Rights Act of 1964. The Civil Rights Act of 1964.
Or the threat thereof.
So damn, it's been since 64.
The Civil Rights Act of 1964.
Violence.
The Civil Rights Act of 1964.
Was the Civil Rights Movement not violent? Did we not have riots? Did we not have dogs?
Did we not
have people being murdered?
Okay, riots and a full. You get a riot confused with it. There's levels to this. In the words of Meek Mill, there's levels to this. Don't get a riot confused with a revolution. Okay, a riot and a revolution are totally 2 different things. People they talk about, I'm a revolutionary. People talk about I'm a revolutionary. I got family members in Chicago. We should have a revolution. I'm like, dude, you wouldn't last 5 minutes in a revolution. You do know there ain't gonna be no grocery stores. You know how to fish? You know how to hunt? You know how to slaughter meat? Do you take any type of martial art that if you had to do hand-to-hand combat? Do you go out and practice with a weapon on a daily basis? Or a weekly basis, go out and go practice a weapon? No, then you're not ready for a revolution. You don't know how to slaughter. You don't know how to slaughter meat. You know, if a revolution popped out, there ain't going to be no grocery stores. There probably ain't going to be no heat, no light, no gas, no electricity, right? Okay, so that's not that. So going out there and protesting is not the same as a revolution. There was not violence on that scale. That's what it would take to really, if you say, well, we need to have threat of violence.
But the fact that the violence was present, because somebody put in the Sheila put in the chat, bus boycott. Okay, bus boycott. We're refusing to give our money to other people. Somebody, and I'm not going to paraphrase what they said.
Okay, that's okay, but
that's not money and things like that.
You just answered your own question. What
I'm saying is
the Montgomery bus boycott. Was that violent? Yes or no? You got them, huh?
Withholding.
Change that when you're losing millions or billions of dollars. That's all that these people understand. When they protested Walmart,
they protested
Chick-fil-A,
Target.
And they changed up real quick when they were trying to protest Disney and things like that. Where you really hurt people at, it's not always through violence. It's when I'm used to making $5 billion a day.
Let me ask you a question though.
Go ahead.
Disney, we hit Disney in the pockets. What was Disney doing to us as a collective American people? What was Disney doing to us? Was Disney starving us? Was Disney pricing us out of life? Was Disney, Was Disney, releasing an army against, brown people and killing people in the street? What was Disney really doing? So the level of protest revolution needed depends on the adversary. Target got rid of the DEI initiatives, but again, Target ain't out here killing people. Target is not out here deliberately.
Okay, and when we got upset and said we will not buy your product.
Yeah,
okay,
you can hit Target with a little boycott because what they're doing, the level of what they're doing, a boycott is necessary. But when we're talking about this U.S. government, this system that we're living under, and what they're doing, what they can potentially do to us, yeah, boycott ain't finna work on that. One, because like to your point, Marcus, everybody ain't built for that. Yeah. You talking about boycotting Disney. No, you're not going to boycott Disney. You're just not going to go to Disney parks. Because in order to boycott Disney, you got to look at all the things Disney owns. Marcus, I know you're not going to boycott Disney because that's no sports. I'm not boycotting Disney because that's no sports. So, again, to your point, Americans aren't built for what needs to be done.
Typically, I don't own a Disney hat.
With the level of violence that they are bestowing upon us. When you have people in this country that can't afford food, can't afford gas, can't afford housing, can't afford childcare, can't afford health care, but at the same time, your government is poisoning you, making you require health care, but then turn around and make it to where you can't. That's violence. So if the government is imposing violence on the people, and the people are responding like, well, let's go down every couple of years, or let's go down in November and play this game of tug of war, because the problem with voting is sharing.
That's economic.
Hey Fred, let me say this one then, Fred. Fred, let me say this one then. And all right, this might go a little too far. I don't even know if I should say this, but
say it.
So Side Jawn, say it.
Okay, so when we were trying to stop the violence on Black and brown people, and your quarterback went ahead and kneeled, was that nonviolent?
It was nonviolent. It was also non-effective.
I don't know if it was non-effective because it started to get people talking, and people started getting upset.
100% got people talking. But what's different? That was 2016.
Yeah, but then they went and got some black faces and fixed it. You were,
and then they put on the kente cloth and knelt in the Capitol, which was the funniest. Simultaneously. But again, we've done a lot of talking. Here's the thing. Martin Luther King got shot in the face and smothered 10 years before I was born. We still fighting the same fight. It looks a little different. The battlefield is different. We may not be in Vietnam, but it's still the same damn fight. I'm almost 50. He was shot and smothered 10 years before.
Yeah, but when you say, see, as the only person on this panel who's actually been to war, you want to take on the U.S. government militarily, that would not end well for you. Well, I got my AR-15. You got a drone, aircraft carrier. You got a stealth bomber. You got one of those because that's what they got. So you're not gonna line up and fight the United States. This is the same thing my goofy cousin in Chicago said. Well, what they gonna do? Just come into Chicago and fight all of us? No, fool. What they would do is they would just turn off all the power, turn off all the gas, turn off all the water, and leave you in the city. Have no trucks or trains or anything coming to the city and just starve you out, just like they would in the military campaign. So when you say just burn it, we should fight back. You do not have the resources to fight the United States government. And
Marcus, that's you 1,000% correct.
So to say, let's go.
But here's what I'm saying. What's the alternative? Is we just gonna keep doing what we've been doing, which is sitting here and taking
what you do? You have a lot of people out there to just say. One of the dumbest things that I hear, and I know I'm gonna hear it in the comment section, is people saying, that's why I don't vote. And I go, and you sound like a damn fool. Because you know who does vote? You know who my vote ain't gonna make no difference. You know who does vote? That neo-Nazi. He goes out and he sits right there and he votes all the time. While you sit in the corner, not you per se. I'm not singing. I hope I don't sound like that. These people who are not engaged. I'm a big DC fan. And one of the things that Superman always says, the never-ending battle between good and evil. Even Martin Luther King said before he died, you said he died 10 years before you were born. I may not make it there I've seen the promised land. I may not make it there with you, but this we will overcome. But when you are lethargic, and you become a pacifist, and you become I don't want to engage. That means getting up it don't matter. It does matter because those people who are opposed to who don't want you to vote, they love it when you say I ain't gonna vote. My vote don't make no difference. If it didn't make a difference, they wouldn't be so hard trying to make it where they are gerrymandering. That's their worst fear, is that you get a whole bunch of movement of people to actually vote, because they just saw what happened when a bunch of people did go out and vote with Barack Obama. They're like, we will never let this happen again. So for people to say, I don't vote, that's the dumbest shit. Pardon my French. That's the dumbest shit I ever heard, because you're basically conceding. These people, they go out there and they vote. They vote so they can get their goofy president that gives them their goofy Supreme Court justices, that gives them their goofy cabinet. So the first objective right now is November in the midterms. You say, how do you fight back? November in the midterm, and that's why they are terrified. And they've even said, if they win the House and they win the Senate, what do they say, Sharon? They're going to be impeaching him every other day. He's going to get impeached a few more times. That's the way that you.
Let me ask you a question. So they say that. How much faith do you have that actually happens?
You got to have an overwhelming majority, though. You got to have an overwhelming. If you just here's why nothing got accomplished, Fredrick, because you had a slight majority. It has to be such an overwhelming victory. You live in Vegas. It's like trying to get a decision against Floyd Mayweather in Vegas. It has to be, you got to knock him unconscious to get the victory. You're not gonna get a victory with just barely having a majority. Okay, you're gonna have to have a overwhelming majority. These people need to get out and they need to vote, and that's why you can't give people water. You can't give people water while they're standing out in the heat to vote and stuff like that. That's why they don't want you to vote. They want you to be so discouraged and just be like, my vote don't make no difference, and nothing's gonna change. They love when people say that. They love it.
Let me amend my question. Okay. So you got the Republicans, you got Trump, and it's like, okay, if the Democrats, if we get enough power, we get that overwhelming majority, we're gonna get rid of Trump and all his people, right? Correct. What I'm saying is, how much faith do you have that the Democrats are actually the enemies of the Republicans? And here's let me just open this can of worms, right? You mentioned Make America Great Again, and Sharon, you said we all know what that means, right? What we've realized, which a lot of people maybe underestimated, is how much this country, white America, hates to share their country with those of us who are not white. How much this country hates black people, hates brown people, how powerful white supremacy is, right? So you have the Democratic Party, which is made up of a bunch of what? White people. So you have this man in Trump who is making America great again, i.e. making America whiter again. How many of these Democrats are sitting back like, look, I know I'm not supposed to like this dude because I play for the Cowboys and he played for the Redskins, but real talk, I kind of like where he's going. So I'm going to tell you who are facing that, oh my God, Trump is such a bad person. But as I sit here as a 60, 70-year-old man who I don't like seeing the brown kids in the Cheerios, I don't like seeing the brown Little Mermaid, I didn't like seeing the black man in the Oval Office, but I can't say that because I'm supposed to be on their side, but I'm just going to sit back and let this happen because deep down inside, I like what's happening. Because every day Trump give you a reason to invoke the 25th Amendment. Every day Trump give you a reason why he could and should be impeached. But it's funny how they have such a hard time putting things in motion. So my question
is, and that's where the majority comes in. Every Democrat, Fredrick, every Democrat
on the opposite team.
Every Democrat voted to remove Trump. Every Democrat voted to remove Trump, and four or five Republicans voted to, who are no longer in Congress. What it is these people, the people that stand up to him, the Marjorie Taylor Greens and the Jeff Flakes and the Mitt Romneys, all of those people who went against them, they lost their seats. These people are terrified. They're terrified. There's people that have opposed him. Marjorie Taylor Greene was the biggest Trump supporter there was. Now he's talking about having her kids killed and stuff like that. She's talking about having to leave the country. So he is an existential threat. And these people are saying that all of these farmers that voted for him are losing, who are fourth and fifth and sixth generation farmers that are losing their farms. They're seeing now. It doesn't make sense to them, to a lot of them, until it starts to personally affect them.
Oh yeah, 100%. But I guarantee. But let's keep it real. Out of all these farmers that are starting to lose their stuff, if we went around and asked each one of them individually, do you think that some of them would still vote for this man?
Well, let them lose man.
Let them lose. Oh yeah, some of them.
Yeah. Exactly. Because at the end, the reason why Trump is in the place he's in, because at the end of the day, he found his mark as a con man. He found that swath of America that was afraid that grip on white supremacy is slipping away. It is a very real fear in the white community that they are going to become a minority, that they are going to lose everything they have. And he convinced them that he is their best chance of holding on to that. And then you got Project 2025 coming through, and he is making good on that. So no matter how bad their lives get, in their mind, well, hell, as long as America is white, I'm still going to be better than black people over there.
That's it.
That's why they say, that's why no matter what this man says, the only thing Trump can do that will make him lose these people, if he came out and said Black Lives Matter, and he meant it, no matter what he does, wants to sleep with his daughter, Epstein Island, the fraud, everything that he does, as long as he's got them convinced that, hey, you will never, ever have to see a black man sitting in the Oval Office again. As long as you support me and do what I want to do, that's all they care about.
And that's why, and that is why
they will lose everything they have as long as they don't lose it to black.
And that is why it is imperative. It is imperative for the people who don't want to be engaged, who just give up and be like, nothing I do is going to change anything. That is why it's imperative to get out. He is terrified. Last night at the Kennedy Center, they took his name off of that.
Finally.
They took his name off of that. There are people out there that are fighting, but you have to stay engaged. You cannot just be like, oh, I give up. Oh, nothing's going to change, because that's the way they felt. You have to fight though. You have to get out and fight. For me as a parent, I don't want my daughter to have to go through things that my grandmother went through. That's my motivation. And again, I may not be there. I may not be there to see it, to make it to the promised land, but we're going to make it there. But it's up to us to stay engaged. If people had the same attitude that a lot of blacks have now during the civil rights movement, nothing would have changed then.
Nothing would have changed.
Nothing would have changed. Oh, well, it's going to change. We've been slaves, and we always going to be slaves. They ain't ever going to be. You have to stay engaged. You cannot just become detached and just be like, nothing's going to change.
Let me pose my question. What you just said. Okay, you have to fight. So in America, the fighting is via like a soldier, right? So it's like what was it, Troy? Where it's like, all right, instead of all of us fighting, they got that big dude, and we gonna send out Achilles, right? You remember that scene? Okay, so in this scenario, they got that big dude. We're not gonna fight. We're gonna send out Achilles. What the point that I'm trying to make is, when we send out our Achilles, are we convinced that our Achilles wants to kill that big dude? This is the point that I'm making. So our fighters, when we go out there and we back, in this case, the Democrats, right? We're sending you out to fight on our behalf. Are we convinced that the Democrats are actually fighting on our behalf? Or are they just telling us, hey, I'm going to go and do my best against this guy. Meanwhile, they're going to go out there and sell the fight.
Everybody.
Hold up, Marcus. The answer to that question is, of course, we don't 100% know. But given what I see, I will say the majority of the Democrats do. They do want to kill the other guy. The majority. Now, I'm not saying that there's not a rogue Democrat that probably is in bed with the Republicans behind the scenes. I'm not going to say that that doesn't exist, because if I were to say that, then I would be very naive. But I believe that the majority of them, black or white or whatever race they are, if they have a D next to their name, they are opposed to what they're doing and they're willing to fight. The problem is not, are they willing? It's the strategy. That's what I have the problem with, because they're trying to, I don't know what this is, that the Democrats are holding on to being proper.
Yeah.
And following the rules, but you're trying to follow the rules with people
who are using brass knuckles. Who are using
they
brass
have
knuckles
destroyed the rules. They have torn up the rule book.
And
but you still trying to follow the rules, and you can't win that way. It's like the Godfather. It's like the Godfather. Tom was great concierge, but when he had to go to war, he needed a wartime concierge.
Tom, you're out.
Tom, you're out. And it hurt.
Guy.
He hurt, but Tom had to get with that because he was not a wartime concierge.
That's a great.
We need a wartime concierge up in that Congress
and Sharon,
to do this and do this fight. And we need it at all levels, not just in Washington, but all over the nation to beat these motherfuckers back. That's what we need to do. And that is my argument. That's the comments that I make on all these Zoom calls I'm on with these Democratic Party leaders. That's what I tell them. And until you do that, there's nothing's gonna work. You have to do it.
And that's my point.
You have to do it. And like Marcus also said, Marcus was talking about the Kennedy Center taking his name down. We have to continue going to court against these idiots.
Fight
and we just have to pray that we get the right judge. And if we get the wrong one and fail at this one, bring it back again. You have to keep coming back and coming back and coming back. It is tiresome. It's like being back in the 60s all over again. They could not tire. You think them people weren't tired back then? My mom and dad and them, they were tired. But you have to keep going. You have to develop the decision that you're not gonna let them turn you around. Black people now, what really bothers me is when they malign and demean people from the civil rights movement. If anybody sings "We Shall Overcome," they're like, "I don't want to see no "We Shall Overcome" and the "Am I a Man" signs. You remember them? Am I a man signs or "I'm a man" signs? They ridicule and malign all that stuff, but them signs worked and those people worked and they sung them songs to keep their sanity and they did not give up so that your ass can be here now on Beyonce's internet sitting up here talking about this shit right now. But yet they get in here maligning the movement and talking about how that's that old stuff.
Ain't nothing gonna change.
Tell you something.
Nothing gonna
I
change.
was born in 1966. There's a whole lot of us still alive from that time. It's not that old. It was not that old. It's not that old. And what they've done systematically, they are brick by brick rolling it back. And people who did not understand that's what "Make America Great Again" meant when he first said it, I hope they understand it now. And we're gonna get that in the last segment because that's part of my segment. But that's what people have got to get a grip on. And the only way that you can defeat that is by getting your tail out there to vote. Do you know the latest? Saw it this morning. U.S. Postal Service this weekend is going to be shut down and inoperable. This coming week, they're going to be shut down for the whole week, 24 hours a day for the whole week. You know what they're doing? They're practicing. They've already started getting rid of the blue boxes out in the neighborhoods where you can go put your mail-in ballots in. They've already started removing hundreds of them. That's been going on since last year. And so what they're trying to do, they're messing with the Postal Service so that they can mess with your vote, people. And people will see the headline, oh, well, it's just the Postal Service. So what? It's connected to your vote, man. Don't y'all got to understand what's going on here. And that's why I brought the question up about these voting machines. If we get everybody to go on out and vote, but the machines are rigged, what good is that going to do? How are we going to overcome that? That's what we got to start thinking about as a very real question. This is not conspiracy theory.
January 6th was a test run. It was a test run. And this is why I'm so mad at Merrick Garland. if these people, you got to fight these people. You have got to fight these. You see everything that he's trying, and these people are like that because they feel that there will never be accountability. I can do all of this stuff, and at the end, he'll pardon me.
He'll pardon me.
If JD Vance wins, he'll pardon me, or he's going to pardon me on his last day in office, and that is why this midterms is so critical. It's so critical that we win these midterms, or we can start chopping this stuff down, because this guy is an existential threat. But the worst thing that can happen is for people to become disengaged. My mom, she says that like all the time. It's stamina. This is a 15-round fight. This is a 15-round fight, and I'm tired in the 4th round, bro. You got 11 more rounds to go. And you sitting there, ain't nothing gonna change. This is a lost cause. Nah, dude, you got to get up, and every day you got to oppose these people, because, like I said, you said you don't want to vote because it don't make no difference. Well, guess what? They'll be out there voting, and they're like, great, don't go vote because I'm gonna go vote. So that's
exactly right. Mm-hmm. And you don't hurt anybody but yourself when you do that. It doesn't hurt them; it helps them. This is what I keep telling people this all the time. I understand what you mean about your vote don't matter. I get it. I get how you feel. I get that. But I'm telling you, you still got to do your part. You got to keep going, because if you get 10,000 more people to change and go, despite the fact that you don't think it counts, if you get 10,000 more people to actually go against what they feel and vote a certain way, you could win. And I always point them back to the 2000 presidential election. If that election does not teach you that your vote really does matter, nothing will. Nothing will. Nothing will.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. And I've been mad at the Democrats ever since that election. So it's 26 years of being pissed off.
No doubt about it. I get so mad, Sharon, when I just hear people like, nothing's going to change, and it don't matter. One of my favorite movies is Glory. And I don't know if y'all remember the part of the movie where Denzel Washington was talking to Matthew Broderick's character. He goes, well, what are we doing all this fighting for? It's not gonna. It ain't ever gonna end. He's like, it is gonna eventually end. And you want to be on the right side here. You got one side that's fighting to keep you a slave. Yeah, we ain't perfect over here in the Union, but the alternative is they said anytime you capture a Union soldier wearing a black Union soldier, you don't even get a trial. We just gonna hang you right there.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, it's gonna eventually end. Well, we ain't gonna get nothing out of it. He goes, the alternative is these people over here who want you to be a slave for life. That's what we're fighting against here. So to become disengaged is the worst thing that you can do. It just is, because there is going to be a winner and there is going to be a loser. Okay. I don't really like the Jedi. I don't like the Jedi. I don't like Obi-Wan Kenobi. But I don't like the Empire either. They're both the same. No, you got the Sith and you got the damn Jedi. Okay. I don't really like Palpatine, but I don't know that much about Obi-Wan and them and Yoda and them.
You gotta take a side.
You got to take a side, dude.
You gotta make a decision.
Mr. Miyagi said it best, Sharon. Stay on one side of road, safe. Stay on other side of road, safe. Stay right in middle, get squeezed just like grape. That's what some of these black people are. They trying to stay in the middle and straddle the damn fence. You need to pick a side and get squeezed. Oh, they both the same. That's the dumbest shit I ever heard. Both sides the same. You got one side that think you shouldn't exist. They think you shouldn't exist. Well, the Democrats are bad too. These people here, they talking about make Donald Trump a king.
They literally have said that they're okay with that. They're okay with that.
About the damn Democrats. They said, Donald Trump, he should be a king.
And you know why they're saying that? Because of what Fredrick said. Because all they care about is white supremacy. That is the number one driver of what their culture does in everything they do. Everything.
let me circle back to it because you were talking about how like you be on the Zoom calls and you mad at the Democrats because they playing by the rules and things like that. So to my point, you know that they need to stop playing by the rules and fight fire with fire, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I said earlier, almost on a daily basis, Trump, from his own mouth or from his own little Truth Social fingers, gives you a reason why he should not be president, gives you a reason why he should face impeachment.
Mm-hmm.
So if we all know, looking at the Democrats like, man, you got all these tools right here to fight this man, all these tools right here to take this man down. And here we are, what, like 15 years into this from the time when he like first announced that he was actually going to run for president, and they ain't done it. Do you think there's a possibility that it could be that they haven't done it because they don't want to?
No, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because the only reason why he has not been successfully removed from office through those impeachment processes is because of the Republicans. It's because of the numbers of the Republicans who refuse to say yes, get rid of this man. Okay, I'm telling you what I know. The numbers, the data tells you that. It's the number of votes. You can put all the evidence you want. If not enough people do the right thing, he ain't going nowhere.
And that's the point I was trying to make, Sharon.
And they have the numbers. The Democrats haven't had the numbers since 2016. They haven't had it.
You can impeach a bologna sandwich. That's not the thing. The thing about it is the convict and removal, which takes 2/3. Every Democrat voted to get him out of office.
Everyone.
And you even had some people like Mitt Romney and I think Susan Collins from Alaska. They voted against him, but it was only like 4 or 5.
And then it wasn't enough.
And here's the other thing for the people who talk shit about Barack Obama. Why did he do more? Why did he do? Again, he was sitting up there fighting against Mitch McConnell, who basically cheated him out of a Supreme Court justice, and some of this too. Rest in peace, Ruth Bader Ginsburg. I love Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Her ass should have resigned and sat down when she was sick, but she wanted to stick around. Then she died, and then Barack Obama went out of office, so he got another one. But Mitch McConnell screwed him. As a president, presidents ain't kings. They're not kings. Executive orders is not law. You can sit out there and be like, it's internet, it's American pizza day. We have pizza every day. You can. That's not a law though. Okay, you got to have votes in Congress to get certain stuff. Barack Obama was not a king. So if people still, he didn't do nothing for black people. He didn't do anything for black people. It's just, and again, that goes back to your thing, Sharon, where the education system. You have a lot of people that don't know how the branches of government work. They just don't.
No, they don't. And they get their information from content creators who don't know no better.
Let me ask a question for clarification. So, Marcus, you were talking about how every Democrat voted to remove him, right?
Yes.
And then Sharon, you was talking about the numbers. So in that vote, when every Democrat voted to remove him, it didn't work because they didn't have the numbers, correct? Okay.
True.
I ain't the smartest mother, but I do have, like, if I was a bad person, there'd be a problem because I'd be thinking evil genius stuff. You know what I'm doing if I'm a Democrat? I'm going to vote to remove him from office. Why? Because I've realized that it don't matter because he ain't going to get removed from office. So you know what I do? I told my constituents, hey, look, I voted to remove him from office, but we didn't have the numbers. So what do my constituents think? Damn, Fred is trying to get him out of office. But what does Fred know? Yeah, I can play both sides because my constituents are happy with my vote, but I know going in that my vote ain't going to remove this man from office.
Okay, but you're talking about... I
want my constituents to think that I do. So I'm going to play that game.
I get it.
You just didn't get it.
I get it. Wait, Marcus. And I get that you think that there are a lot of Democrats that do that. And I understand why you think that. But what I'm here to tell you, from where I sit, I don't see it. That's all I'm going to tell you. I don't see it. Now, I know they have conversations in other rooms that I'm not in. I get it. But when I look at their voting record in the history in the history of Congress over the last 20 years, I can see the Democrats that could possibly be what you're talking about. And there's only like 5 of them that I would question over the last 20 years. Based upon their voting record, the way that they did and did not vote for certain things in Congress. So I can't say most. I can never say that. Not given what I know. I can't say most. And I'm not gonna. And what I'm not gonna do is I'm not going to bash the entire Democratic Party because of those 5 people. Not doing it.
Not
because it's only 5.
And then you also have to look at the gerrymandering. Even like here in Texas, Jasmine Crockett, they got rid of her district. She was one of the most vocal people out there. One of the most vocal people, Al Green, not the singer Al Green, the other Al Green.
They fear
They're terrified.
They are terrified.
That's her here in Texas.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's the reason why they funded Tallarico's campaign. Republican money helped him win that. He would not have won that without Republican money.
Well, they're looking at, because Texas is more Latino. Okay, they're looking at there's more Latinos than there are blacks here. I think Tallarico I think he has a real chance to win, because I think he has a chance to win because of the Hispanic vote. Okay, but Jasmine Crockett's from in Houston. Okay, and they got rid of her. They got rid of her area. So that's what they try to do. They try to do all of these things. And again, this is why you have to stay engaged and not just be like, it doesn't make a difference, because they are working every day to try to
24/7.
Speaking of that, my segment of the show, because we've been on this for about 40 minutes. This is all your fault, Dennis, with your purple shirt. It's all your fault. What is the Iranian war? Okay,
the Iranian war. Please talk about that.
I'm not going to take up a whole bunch of your time on this. It's because it's really quite simple. What this is Donald Trump has tried to do anything to take away from the legacy of Barack Obama. The JCPOA, which was the agreement that was in place, limited Iran from developing nuclear weapons, which none of us wants Iran to have a nuclear weapon, although the United States is the only country that's ever used nuclear atomic weapons in war. Okay? We don't want them to have it because they might use it. We're the only country that's ever used it in Hiroshima and Nagasaki in World War II. But the agreement was we would have monitors that would watch them and keep track of their nuclear weapons. They wanted to keep their enriched uranium because you need it for your nuclear reactors, because they want to have nuclear energy. We told them they could have a 3.7 enrich it for their they wanted to build nuclear reactors. Okay, and it was in place, and the Strait of Hormuz was open, and and all of these people were out there were saying that Barack Obama just gave them pallets of money, and they're seeing now that wasn't the case. That was one of the things that they used against Barack Obama. He just gave them a bunch of money. He did not give them pallets of money. Those were frozen accounts. When we put sanctions on them, that was Iranian money that was frozen in accounts. We told them if they would abide by the JCPOA, the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, or the otherwise known as the Iran nuclear deal, that we would release those funds if they would agree to inspectors coming in. The day that Donald Trump became president, in his first term, he tore up that agreement. So once he did that, the agreement was off. So then they start enriching uranium again. So then Trump got scared. Oh, they're close to a nuclear weapon. Israel, oh, they're close to a nuclear weapon. Well, we had a deal in place. And this just goes back to anything that was successful under Barack Obama that Trump has tried to destroy. I have concepts of a plan. We don't like Obamacare. or otherwise known as the Affordable Care Act. It's the same. It's the same principle with it. I'm going to come up with a health care plan for everybody. Well, then it was, we have concepts of a plan. Y'all remember when Kamala teased him during the debate or whatever? He's nearly 2 years into a year and a half into his term, and they don't even have a proposal. Okay, so that's all that this is. Now he's created a mess with this because the Strait of Hormuz, I think, like they said, like 70% of the world's oil flows through there. It's like a route that no one was paying tariffs on. Now Iran is, because they see you can't just bomb people into submission. You just can't. You just can't do it. And what the Iranians are counting on is, okay, yes, we are going to get punished here. We are going to suffer here. But the main people, they don't suffer. They're still going to eat. They're still going to be good. The people are the ones that are paying. And what they're saying, we're just going to wait this out, because we know if we can survive till the midterms, because gas is so expensive, the Americans don't like to suffer. And everybody has to pay for gas unless you one of them people that got one of them electric cars. I ain't buying no damn electric car. But that's what it is. So their plan is, the Iranians' plan is, we're going to hold out, and we're going to suffer, and we're counting on the Americans to be so pissed off that they vote, turn over the House and the Senate and get his ass impeached. Another reason to damn go vote. Another reason to go vote, because even the Iranians are thinking, because they know presidents don't only serve for 4 years. If we can weather this storm and keep our stamina and not just tap out and just be like, oh, well, they're just bombing us and this will never be over. We can never win. The Iranian people are showing more heart than the American people. This is our opportunity during the midterms to get his ass up out of office. But we have to stay engaged. Okay? That's what this is all about here with this whole oil and stuff like that. He thought Israel got us to go into war with Iran. And that's why none of these other presidents before engaged in a war with Iran, because they knew it would be a difficult thing. Because the only way that you can really win a war, you can bomb somebody to the Stone Age, but guess what? The only way that you win a war is you have to put boots on the ground. I can bomb you and bomb you and bomb you. And what you're going to do, you're just going to go into a bunker and you're going to wait till the planes go over. That's why air power has never won a war. The only way that you win a war is you got to put boots on the ground to hold ground. That's the Army and the Marines. They have to go in. Okay. Mm-hmm. So that's why that's that. But America would never tolerate, even these Republicans, they would never tolerate us going into another war and putting boots on the ground. Because if you go into Iran's one of the biggest armies, and where there's going to be a lot of dead American soldiers. So we have got to win the midterms. That is the main thing that we have to do. If we can do that, we could make a lot of things happen. Do not become, the message that I would give to all those people out there: do not become disengaged. Do not become disenfranchised. Do not become lethargic. Do not become a defeatist. A defeatist. Oh, it ain't nothing going to change. Don't be the Denzel Washington character from Glory. Don't be that person. Okay, engage. Go check your voting status. That's the other thing too. They're constantly they're finding people that have been purged from the rolls, and you can go on there. I wish I had the link. Is like usavote.org or something like that. You can go on your phone or go on your laptop and see if you are registered to vote. There are a lot of people who have been registered to vote, and they go on there and they've been checking recently, and they're not on the voter rolls anymore. Okay,
just disappeared.
And it seems like you have a long time to get ready for this midterms. Some people have already started to vote. This is June. We're nearly in the middle of June.
Well, let me. We got 5 months.
We got 5 months until the midterms.
Let me interject right there. Make this point. There has never been in modern American history a time under a Democratic president, not since 60, 65. There has never been a time under a Democratic president where voting rights have been diminished or people have not been mysteriously disappearing off voter rolls. There was a study done. It's not even, people think that's the governor and the secretary of state of the states that control that. No, it goes by the president. It correlates directly with who the president is what happens in these states with either Republican or Democratic governors in place. All of a sudden, voter rolls get diminished. How? Because that's what they want. It's the Republicans who are always trying to squash votes. It's never the Democrats. This is what I'm saying. It's never them. They're not perfect, but at least they're not trying to take my right to vote away. They're not doing that. And I can say that with confidence. Collectively, as a party, that's not what we're trying to do.
I don't like Voldemort. I hate Voldemort, but I don't know nothing about Dumbledore and Harry Potter to vote for them. It's like, bro, you got to get with it. You can't use
I don't know as an excuse to be given a pass on it. That just doesn't work anymore.
All of these movies that y'all watch, Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter and Star Wars and Star Trek and oh man, this is the enemy over here. But then you sit up there, Sauron and Harry Potter was the enemy. Voldemort was the enemy in Lord of the Rings. Palpatine was the enemy in Star Wars, and you sitting up there saying, well, both sides are the same. That's the dumbest shit ever. You literally got a guy saying, I feel like I would like to suspend the Constitution. I would like to be president for life. I should be able to go for another term. And y'all still say that both sides are saying that's the dumbest shit ever. It's the dumbest shit ever. You literally have a guy telling you, I want to suspend the Constitution. And who is actively going away, taking away your right to vote, like Sharon said, trying to get rid of mail-in ballots. And you still say both sides are the same. That's the dumbest shit ever.
They're not.
Whatever your thoughts were on Biden or Obama or whatever or Clinton, they never said, I feel like I should be able to go another term. I should be able to declare war. I should be able to just attack a country and stay as long as I want. I should be able to take over this. I should be able to take over this every building that I want. I should be able to knock down sections of the. They got on Barack Obama for building a little basketball court over in the corner. This man has knocked down an entire wing of the White House and knocked down Jackie Kennedy's Rose Garden and put. It's going to have the UFC in the White House lawn in a couple of days for his birthday, and y'all ain't said shit. But both
and wait a minute, and remember, he did the Rose Garden in his first term. Just want to make that note.
He done destroyed it.
Sheila, she put the link to check your registration. Sheila just posted.
Yeah. Sister Sheila put the link in.
I went and checked mine. I'm good. Go and check it like once a month or so, all the way up to the election. Because I don't know if y'all saw this yesterday. Elon Musk, after being in charge of Doge and all of that good stuff, I'm going to find all this. I'm going to give everybody a $2,000 check. Yesterday, Elon Musk was declared the world's first trillionaire.
Yep, I saw it.
The world's first trillionaire.
Very dangerous. Let me address something. This Ali person put in, some states are not allowing people to vote unless you are a Democrat or a Republican. There's no more independent, etc. You have to be either a Democrat or Republican. Make sense. Ollie, can you put a link to that in the chat, please, so I can find that, because I can't find that. I just searched for that. I can't find it. So if you could help us out and put a link to where you're getting this information from, I would appreciate that.
So that is terrible. But here's the other thing I will say to you, and this is not to knock your decision. Look, independence ain't gonna win. Okay, I'll just say it. Independence ain't gonna win. I'm gonna do a write-in for Mike Pence.
Why?
A write-in for Mike Pence. A write-in for Mike Pence is a vote for Donald Trump. Okay.
All right. Well,
that's what it is.
Question. All right. I understand independence ain't gonna win and all of that, but if they're trying to build this party to be so strong, with the outreach that we have with the internet and everything else, why isn't the independent party stronger than what it is? Because the independent party seemed like in the 70s.
The same reason when you get on the airplane and they tell you, do you want chicken or beef? That's the two choices. Unfortunately, it sucks. When you get on the plane, would you like chicken or beef? I like pork. I said chicken or beef. I understand that's jacked up. When on the airplane, you get chicken or you get beef. Okay? That's it. They ain't got no vegetarian stuff. They ain't got no pork.
What's up, Ollie?
It's chicken or beef. Okay?
Marcus, I don't know what point we're missing, but I just want you to put that link in the chat to where these states are that not allowing you to vote unless you're a Democrat or a Republican. I really need to know, because I got friends all over the nation. I want to let them know.
Marcus, do you not see a problem with that though? Because essentially what you
have
is
a problem with that.
When we talk about all this democracy and freedom and liberty, they're forcing people into one of two lines. And of those one or two lines, we don't really know, because we have to back these lines. We don't really know if when we get to the front, do those lines converge. You don't see that as a huge red flag that you live in a country that
I do.
Freedom to but you're gonna be one or two things. That's it.
I got you.
That's but we only right to don't care what you want of the people.
I agree with you.
People
hey Fred, this was
two choices.
Hold on, Fred, this was even crazy about what you're saying, right? As these kids are coming up, they got a bunch of choices. Listen, they're actually younger, 4 or 5 years old. What you want for dinner? What you want for dinner? Like, got 6 different kids in the house. They all say something different: pizza, wings, Chinese food, and they all getting what they wanted. Chick-fil-A. Shit.
But on the plane,
but then you only tell them they got 2 choices.
Or beef. On the plane, you got chicken or beef.
Hold on, Martin. Hold on, Marcus. But then you only go tell them, oh, you only can beat the Democrat or Republican. That's it. There is no independent party. They talk about it, so you'll hear some people make a little noise about it, but that's it.
What is that?
Okay, wait a minute. Okay, Ollie, we're not stupid on here. Okay, so stop with the tone in your comments.
I didn't read what was said.
Come on, y'all, and all that. Changing political parties is changing votes. Yes, I'm still waiting on the damn link. You're gonna come in our comments and make these assertions about states telling you gotta be Republican or Democrat. Damn it, put a link in it. Otherwise, shut the hell up out these comments. If you're not gonna bring the facts, I don't want to see it in my comments. That's what I'm saying.
Every time there's been a third party.
We have invited Ali to the show. I just want to make this clear. We have invited Ali to the show.
Come on.
He has been invited. He's been invited, and it's not been like 1 or 2 times. It's been a couple times he's been invited.
I don't give a darn if he's been invited or not. He just need to put a link in the comments. That's what I want.
What I'm saying is, like, you've been invited. Like,
I know
what you're saying. I get it. I get what you're saying, Dennis. I get what you're saying. I do.
But we've tried the third party thing, and yes, should there be a third party, a vibrant third party? Yes, sure. There should be. But right now, with the point in time that
right
we're in, we're at the point of time that we're in, there is too much at stake. Okay, there's too much at stake. I'm sorry, I'm not willing to risk it. We have one party, okay, that is anti-democratic. Quite frankly, they sit up there and they laugh when he says, "I would like to." First off, I don't think he's going to make it. Okay, the man is one cheeseburger away from getting up out of here. Non-part, and I agree. We agree with you. There should be, but you have to put candidates out there, and you have to have the money. That's the other thing too. You have to have the money. Ross Perot was a billionaire. The first election that I voted in was 1992, and there was Bill Clinton, Bush Sr., and Ross Perot. Okay,
my first election was 2004, and it was vote or die. And P. Diddy had them shirts on, and he was sitting over there. And I listen. There was nothing you could tell me in life that John Cheney. Am I saying it was John Cheney?
Dick Cheney.
Dick Cheney. Yeah, there was nothing that I didn't think that he wasn't going to win, but
so we right now at this moment in time we have a political party that is anti-democratic. They're talking about getting rid of people's voting rights. They're talking about they already got rid of Roe versus Wade. They're attacking taking minority service members, Chappie James. They're taking his plaque down, not even acknowledging him, not promoting people in the women and minorities in the military. As a veteran, they are doing that, and you're worried about this third party over here that has pretty much slim to nil chance to win. Chicken or beef right now. We can do pork and do a vegetarian, do a vegan plate down the road, but right now it's chicken or beef, and we got a political party that's anti-democratic. So that's what you're left with. Unfortunately, should it be like that? No, it should not be like that. Yeah. But that's where we're at.
But this ain't the utopia. It's not going to be utopia. So you got to deal with you got to be a realist and deal with what you got. That was my argument. That was my argument about Kamala Harris. I hate Kamala. Why do you hate Kamala? Well, she locked up all these black men. No, she didn't. It's been disproven. Well, I don't care. I still don't like her. I still don't like her. Okay. Well, do you like him?
Obama didn't do anything for black people.
Well, I survived him once. I can survive him again. I said, well, did you read Project 2025? Oh, no, I didn't read all them 900 pages. I didn't read that and blah, blah, blah. Well, you should have. And everything that they put in that document, they have done. Everything they said they were going to do because they knew they had the votes to do it. And they knew the Democrats were not going to have votes to stop any of it. And that's exactly what happened.
Dennis, I had said
we stayed home. Democrats stayed home.
Yeah.
Didn't bother to vote Democrat. They voted against their own party just because a black woman was the nominee and they didn't like her. Some people in the Democratic Party didn't vote for her because they didn't get to primary her. They were mad because, you just gonna tell us who our candidate gonna be. You just telling me, so I ain't voting for her. Okay, how that work for you?
She slept. She slept with Willie Brown.
Yeah, all of the things that don't even freaking matter was the reason that they wouldn't vote for her. And no vote for her is 2 votes for him. And you let this dude slip in there, grimy as he is, with 35 felony convictions or whatever many it is. It's just crazy to me. And the founding fathers, as racist as they were, when they made America, they did not think they would have to make a provision for felons being president.
Here's the thing with the founding fathers. The founding fathers lived out a time where they were witnessing the ascension of human intelligence. We got all these inventions. We invented electricity and all these things. They never fathomed the apex, and now we're on the decline of human intelligence. So to your point, Sharon, they never thought they live in a country of people that would be dumb enough to vote for somebody like Donald Trump.
That's exactly it.
Need to tell you not to vote for somebody. I don't have a problem if you got a felony conviction, right? Because there's a lot of things. You can't have a felony conviction the year of the election. You got a felony conviction when you 20 and you running for president when you 60. Depending on what the felony conviction is, okay, you're young, you did some dumb, that's fine. But you can't be literally going through felony convictions as you running for president. You can they never fathomed in America dumb enough to allow what we are allowing. Case in point, earlier you mentioned his name coming off of the Kennedy Center. And here's the question that I've been asking. Don't nothing get done in America quickly? And the Kennedy Center, those are actual letters, right? It ain't like he painted it. Those are somebody had to order the T and the R and the U and the P in the same font is up there. That's a goddamn process. My question is, why we keep allowing this man to do stuff, and then after he's done it, be like, you can't do it. You let the man tear the whole White House down. That's a process. You got to find a construction company. Then you got to vet all the people that are going to be on the White House grounds, because you can't just walk up to the White House. All these things that take time. Everybody just standing around. Then when he does this stuff,
I can answer that.
No, let me answer it. He was told no. And you know what he did? You can't do that. And he starts it and he does it. What's that old saying? I'd rather ask for forgiveness and permission. That's the way he lives.
That's what he did.
Your point, because you've done movies a couple times. Why are we sitting around acting like this is Thanos?
But
do you realize that if you went up to Trump and did this, he gonna be on the ground so somebody help? We acting like this man is a supervillain and can't be stopped. Because yes, y'all are right. He's just doing what he want to do. And again, ain't nobody stopping him. Ain't nobody at the White House.
Fredrick, to your point, Fredrick.
Earlier, this other team that's supposed to be there, are they really trying to stop him? Because if they really trying to stop him, how come they literally are not stopping
Fredrick, because they can't. Because they can't. Wait, Marcus. He got the Why hasn't anybody questioned who the construction and demolition companies were that tore the shit down and starting to build it back up? Why hasn't anybody looked into who they are? And who did he get to do the work? His friends, his supporters. That's why the Democrats can't stop him from doing that.
But it's not.
They cannot stop him from calling up Jim Bob and them down in Texas and bring your company and your backhoe and your this, that, and the third up here and turn this motherfucker down. So and he said, okay, we'll be there Thursday. And they went and they did it. So he was told no by Congress. Even Republicans told him no.
Hold on.
They said it's the people's house. You can't do that. So he said, watch me. And he did it.
Get in an Uber, go to 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue and just walk in. They be like, yo, who the hell are you? I'm like,
no.
That's what I'm saying.
Fredrick,
somebody had to let these people actually into the White House.
Listen to me. Listen, stop talking and listen. I'm gonna tell you. His people are the ones that's letting his people in. He has his people all at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. And so when his people come, his people let them in. Come on in.
And you have a bunch of enablers. The Supreme Court just said again, going back to the main power that the biggest power that the president have is the Supreme Court. They basically said John Roberts basically said in the capacity of president, you can do whatever you want to do. That's what he basically said. And then you said, why are they not stopping him? They have the House, they have the Senate, They have the Supreme Court and they have the White House. You're like, why aren't the Democrats doing anything? Again, they do not have the numbers. I'm
not talking about from the stand. I'm talking about like okay, the Kennedy Center. Somebody got to set up some scaffolding, climb up the scaffolding. The letters that they've ordered, I don't know, they're probably bigger than they look like. Screw them into what
they did. They showed that. They showed that on camp. I saw when they did it. They showed it was live. You could see. I watched them put his name on that building,
and this is what I'm talking about. Where is everybody to physically stop it? I'm not talking about all the. But like, wait, hold up. Do you have the permits and author? Has it gone through? Has it cleared yet? No.
That's not,
do you think he cares about a permit? He didn't wait for a permit.
This ain't Thanos, where he like, I don't care. I'm a bummer. This is a damn near 80-year-old old man.
Hang on. You're missing the point. You're missing the point, Fredrick.
And we live in a country where we're just allowing this person to do stuff.
Fredrick.
Exactly.
It was a bunch of kids that saved miracles. They stood in front of the bulldozers like, no, you're not tearing down miracles.
Again,
a bunch of kids.
Okay.
Where are these people at?
Even in the hang on, even in the military, we have generals and admirals that have been in the military for 30 and 40 years. The former commander of Southern Command, which is like South America, was a black admiral.
Mm-hmm.
He stepped down because when he was bombing those boats in Venezuela, he knew that, and he was like looking at, eventually there's going to come a day of accountability for him. And what they're going to ask is, who gave the orders to do this? Who gave the order to bomb these fishing boats? These boats that are carrying drugs that are fishing boats. Admiral so-and-so. And Trump will be like, well, he told me this was legal. That's why that admiral, I forget his name, he resigned. He resigned. Mm-hmm. We have admirals and generals right now bombing schools in Iran. And these people actually have authority. The reason they're doing this, they know it's wrong, but you know the reason that they're doing it? You said, why are they doing this? They know it's illegal. You know why they're doing it? Because they know in the end, or they feel like in the end, they will be pardoned. January 6th was a test run. So all these people that are doing stuff, it's like, oh, okay. He let all of the Jan 6 people off. And a lot of them have gone on and done more crimes since they've get out and molesting kids and stuff like that. Because there was never any punishment. So yes, why isn't anybody stopping? Because they're like, there's not going to be any accountability. I can do this. They know it's wrong, but it's like, okay, if somebody told you, Fredrick, you can go rob a bank, and even if you get caught robbing a bank, I'll give you a pardon. You can get and you won't go to prison. That would make you a little bit more inclined to go rob that bank than just say, if you go rob this bank and you fail, you're going to prison for the rest of your life. But if I told you, if you rob the bank and you fail, you're going to get a pardon, you're probably a little bit more likely to go do it because there's not going to be any consequences. So that's the reason why. You have a Supreme Court and John Roberts and with the whole Jan 6, can you as long as it's in the official capacity of within your duties as president, then it's legal. That's what they basically told them. They created a monster.
So let's just bring this back.
But wait, Fredrick, before you interject on that. I wanna agree with you on one thing. I think where you're going with it is where I'm about to go. You were talking about the children that block miracles and all that. Well, when I was watching them put Donald Trump's name on that Kennedy Center, and there was nobody standing around trying to interfere, my thoughts were, well, where are the Democrats at? Why aren't they down there trying to block this or stop this from happening physically? I said that.
Right.
I said it when Doge went in and fired all them people at USA, when they just started cleaning out. I'm like, let me tell you what Democrats need to do. Democrats need to go home and pack a bag, come to work, and don't leave. Sit on the floor, sit in that Congress, and not leave and not do anything until. That's what I said then. This is way back at the beginning of 2021, I guess, whatever year it was. And they need to physically protest, but they're not doing that. And the reason why that I'm hearing that they're not doing it that way is because they're still hanging on to this. Well, we don't want to behave like them. We don't want to behave like the mafia, like they're doing, because eventually we're going to have an election and we're going to need to be electable and blah, 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 blah. And I'm calling bullshit on that. You either have to be strong and have stamina and stand up and use your voice the way it needs to be used. You need to filibuster. You need to do whatever you can do every day as a U.S. congressman or woman or senator, whatever you are on that hill. That's what you need to do. And that's where I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed that we didn't see people physically out there blocking things, because they could have.
Exactly.
But it's not because they want the same thing. That's what I'm going to tell you. That's not the reason that they're not doing it. It's other reasons. Also, the second reason is, to be honest with you, they ain't even thought they would ever have to do anything like this, because they've never seen this before. And I don't care how maddening and ridiculous it gets. This has not been done. This is unprecedented behavior from a U.S. president.
Exactly.
Therefore, it is not something that the U.S. Congress has history or precedent in handling. So all of this is new. You got 100 senators and I don't know how many representatives down there. And it's just difficult to do. Now, does that give them any excuse or let them off the hook? No, I'm not by any means saying that. But they're going to have to get creative going forward. They can, and that's two things. That's 3 points that I made. The last point I'm going to make is also, though, they have to do things in silence. You know how people are always talking about you move in silence. You don't let everybody know what you're doing. Don't let everybody know what you know. Yeah, don't let everybody know what you know, and don't let everybody know what you're doing. Well, there's some of that going on too, behind the scenes. I can't say what it is because I've been sworn not to, but there are some things going on, and it involves the Democrats, and it also involves the military. And it's a way that this can be taken care of, that I have been secretly saying to people, this is the only way we're going to get out of this. And I said this in January. This is the only way we're going to get out of this, is if we do this, 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 and this. And that's what I see. But I hear it being thrown around in these circles. And I'm actually hoping that it goes down that way. And I know I'm being vague, and I wish I could say more. But I believe that they actually have their heads and their hearts in the right direction to do the right thing to get these evil people out. Because this, like I said, this is unprecedented. No, Ali, it hasn't been. It's not crap. Ali, it has not been. None of what's been done now has been done by other presidents. That is not true.
I'm so sick and tired of this notion that people acting like Trump is not a different animal. To a point that Marcus made earlier when you were talking about, like, we've seen, with Republicans and Bush.
Like with Bush.
Yeah. They did things within the scope of the presidency. But this man is out here doing things that we have never seen in this country. And the places that we've seen it, we are calling him out. And they like, oh, well, why do you keep calling him a Nazi? And why do you keep referring to Hitler?
Because this is Nazi behavior.
That's why. Been president of the United States that is doing things that was modeled after Hitler. Who are the people that want gigantic ballrooms? Hitler, Mussolini. Who are the people that have the big banners with their faces? Who are the people that putting their face on the money? Who are the people that want to put their names on all the buildings? No other presidents have done this. Every president has to have their name on stuff posthumously. Other people have decided, hey, we like what this person did. We're going to honor them by doing that. They weren't just like JFK wasn't like, you know what? Put my name on this center. I know it's already got somebody else's name on there, but put my name too. This man trying to build that big gaudy arch that he wants to build. And I'm sorry, if you go to Google Images and you look at that arch, the closest thing you're going to see is the shit that Hitler put up in Germany. I'm sorry. I'm tired of people sitting here acting like Trump is just, no, this is a completely different.
You cannot treat him like he's a normal president, which is my problem with the media, with the way that they're sitting down with interview. He should never be allowed to do it. No credible journalist should ever sit down again to try to interview this man. Never. Don't even do it. Don't do it. You're wasting your time. He's not doing it. You're not going to learn anything new. There's no new information to gather when a credible journalist sits down with this man to have an interview, because he's not going to do anything but repeat true social MAGA talking points. That's all he's going to do the whole time, and lie. He's going to deflect, and then he's going to insult you because you're asking the questions. Then he's going to insult the whole Democratic Party because you're asking these questions.
Call you.
I don't understand why they keep trying to ask him these normal questions, thinking that if they just stay firm, the last chick that was doing it, if I just stay firm, this will work. No, it doesn't work. It doesn't work, chick. It didn't work.
The problem with the media
and going back to what you were saying about Hitler and Nazi, one of the books that he had next to his bed, he kept next to his bed, was Hitler's book.
Mein Kampf.
And he became fascinated with it. He talked about this in interviews years ago.
Yeah.
And the first time I heard him say in an interview that he had that book on his nightstand next to his Bible, I was like, oh, this man is truly evil.
Trump has told us
exactly decades ago.
That's one thing I give Trump credit for. The man is honest. He has told us exactly who he is every chance.
Exactly who he is and what he's going to do. Away from that. But all these people act like he's speaking Portuguese. He's speaking English. He told you what he was going to do, and damn it if he's not doing it. Yeah. And you still sitting around acting like Kamala Harris was the problem.
And then we got these people like, we could do a whole nother show. A person like Stephen A. Smith. Dennis, we had talked about the whole who ain't invited to the damn cookout. The Stephen A. Smiths of the world that try to normalize this stuff. He has called other people unintelligent, but it seems like he has great disdain, low IQ or whatnot, talking to people like that. And he tells you, you're not smart enough to be president. The way I would have been like, if you can get elected to president, anybody can. You ain't gonna sit up here and tell me that I couldn't be president when I just saw you get elected. If you can do it, then anybody can do it. And you still won't go in there and condemn him, because he had started talking to him about the when Trump went to the Knicks game. So. We gotta stay vigilant. We have to stay engaged.
Yeah.
Register to vote. Please, I implore.
Not just register to vote, because there's a lot of people that's registered, but they ain't voting because they don't think. There's a lot of people out there that really don't believe that their vote counts. And I mean, look at some of the reasons. Like Sharon said, the Republicans went and boarded up the voting booths, which shouldn't even been on sale. The fuck? How voting booths on sale? What the fuck is this country come to?
No, they didn't sell the booth. The company. How
was that company on sale?
It's a company.
Stay engaged.
The problem is, why did they sell it? These are the same people who sued Fox News and won. But then you gonna sell it to a known supporter of the person that station was lying on behalf of. Why would you do that? And I go back to TikTok and X. Why did you sell X to Elon Musk? Why did you do that?
To control.
Why you were bashing him, talking about what a monster he is. You've been bashing the Republican Party all up and through. The people who own X were known Democrats. But then all of a sudden, you gonna sell it to Elon Musk? Why did TikTok? Why was TikTok even for sale? Why was American TikTok even for sale? It shouldn't even been for sale. Why is Paramount now owned by Ellison, who's trying to take over CNN and everything else? They're trying to control media, which is the first step to authoritarianism and Nazism and all fascism. The first thing you do is you control the media. That's the first thing that you do. When you topple media, everything comes after.
Yeah, I agree.
So, anyway, Fred already addressed my section about what the real reason all this is going on. The real reason is white supremacy. That's what this is all about. All of it. And for some reason, white supremacists believe that if they become a minority, that those of us who are black and brown will treat them like they've treated us, like Fredrick said. And that's not who we are. What they don't understand is we're not like that. It's not our goal to enslave or oppress white people. It's nowhere in our goal. We just want to live.
They said, be happy that we just want. Be happy that we want equality and not revenge.
Exactly. We don't want revenge. Yeah. We really don't.
Well, I do, but
and Ali, thank you for staying on here for so long. I mean,
he keep talking about please everyone learn history. Man, all four of us know on here no history. We are not misinformed. You are a conspiracy theorist. That's it.
I don't think he's saying that we're uninformed. I think he's making a general comment.
Yeah.
And I agree. We have to. We live in a time where you have more information on your tablet and in your cell phone. You have all of the information in human history. You have access to. Y'all remember. I remember back in the day when we used to have to go to the damn library and go to the card catalog. Microfiche.
Remember you had to go through the encyclopedia
and microfiche, and people used to buy encyclopedias. They used to have encyclopedia salesmen come into your house to sell you a set of, and you have
we always had encyclopedias in the house.
And you have more access to information.
Two Ray says a joke about that too. He said
in human history, you got
an encyclopedia, but you ain't got all of them. You know what I mean? You ain't got some. The other ain't got the rest. You only got this one. He said your cousin got the Encyclopedia S because that one got the snakes in it.
There was this show that used to come on, and it's so embarrassing. People laugh about it. It was like, "Are you smarter than a fifth grader?" There's this show that used to come on. Are you smarter than a fifth grader? And these people, what's the capital of Texas?
Dallas. Right, never mind, Sharon. He is talking to us. I thought he wasn't. Never mind.
Okay.
Never mind.
Okay. All right.
Like I said, he was invited to the show. You know what I mean? He was invited.
Come on out.
Plenty of time.
But it's always fun to come out. It's always fun to come out here and chop it up with y'all. I got to start moving around. I
got to start. I was supposed to move around an hour ago.
Dennis, we got to do something. We got to do something. Cowboys and Eagles. I'm not done with you. I'm not done with you. I'm not done with you. And Fredrick, you too. And Fredrick, you too. You and your 49ers, you too.
Listen, I come on Coffee Talk. I mean, I did help start that motherfucker. I mean, I do this.
Come on out. I don't usually do coffee talk with, but I'll do a coffee talk with you. I usually monologue on that because I don't have a lot of time for it in the morning. I'll be having a fight with people and stuff like that.
No, we do a late night show because we argue a lot. So we gotta do a late night show.
Yeah, no doubt. But
I like when y'all go on with Dre at night.
Yeah.
In the late night show.
Yeah,
that's like always entertaining.
Monday night will be good because it won't be no game.
Always entertaining. Mm-hmm. If I can stay up late enough, I'd be on there with you, but I just get too sleepy.
Yeah, I ain't starting no show at 1 o'clock in the morning. I feel like yeah,
I know.
I'm not doing no show at 1 o'clock, and y'all can do that.
That's why I said 8 o'clock Monday will be good, but that's on.
Well,
real quick before we go. Real quick before we go. Who wins tonight? Real quick.
Oh, I'm watching basketball. That's my.
Isn't it game 5?
It is. It's San Antonio.
Knicks in 5. I said Knicks in 5. I'm sticking with Knicks in 5.
So that it's over tonight.
Yep.
If the Spurs jump out to a double-digit lead in the first quarter, they will lose the game.
Well, they did every damn game. They done it every game.
Every game. That's why I said you gotta get rid of Mitch. That's why I said you gotta get rid of Mitch. Exactly what I said you gotta get rid of him.
Nah, keep him. Keep him. Keep him. Keep him.
You gotta get rid of him.
I hate San Antonio, so I'm sorry. I just don't like the Spurs.
I don't even want to put it just on San Antonio and that organization. I'm telling you, if there was a team, like if Seattle rebuilt the team and this was their whole situation going on, I'm telling you straight up, coach got to be fired. No way you lost 3 of the 4 games and you was up double digits all of them.
Yeah, jumped out.
That's
wait. Not only that, had a lead in the last 2 minutes. Up double digits in the first quarter of every game and had the lead in the last 2 minutes of every game. And the only reason why they ain't been swept is because Donald Trump decided to take his funky ass.
Man, that is great. Y'all gonna keep giving him all that ammunition.
Ruin the whole. People that were at the game were saying it's like when he was in school and the principal would come in and sit in the back room. Even if he ain't doing nothing, you know he's in there, and it just messed up the whole vibe.
Mess up the whole mojo.
Yeah, that's what they said.
This is where when we talk about. Look, we had a segment on the show earlier talking about experience. If Greg Popovich was still the coach of the Spurs, do they lose those games?
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm gonna be real with you. I think
more than likely
would they still be shooting threes while they're up by nearly 30 points?
Hell no.
That's what I'm saying. But he would have brought y'all. Come on over here. Mitch Johnson's
as a Spurs fan. So when Popovich decided that he was done, did y'all come looking at Becky Hammond? Did that happen?
Now they overlooked these women because they women.
Because I honestly thought that Becky Hammond was going to take over.
They overlooked these women because they women. I said the same thing about Dawn Staley.
I got a news flash for y'all. They did say something to Becky and she didn't want it.
Okay, because I was like, the only thing that would get Becky to take another coaching job away from the Aces would be the Spurs.
She didn't want it. What she decided was that she'd rather give to the women's game. That was it. That's the only reason. Because she's still heavily involved with the Spurs. Like, she has meetings with them. She goes in, she consults with them and all that. They back and forth on a lot of stuff. But she wanted to give it to the
sometimes people don't want to be the first. Like some people, they like that. It's like you're the first or whatever. You want to be Jackie. You want to. That ain't the same as full-time coach. You want to be Jackie Robinson. You want to be Jackie Robinson. You want to be the first Black baseball player in Major League Baseball. I mean, it's great. It's great. The accomplishment. Do you want to be the first Black? You want to be the first Black professional baseball player in MLB?
Yeah. Not in the 1940s, hell no.
You see what I'm saying? Well, so sometimes
my mama was a first Black of something. And she's still on their wall on their Hall of Fame as the only Black person up there. Still to this day. And
I'm saying some
she
people
was a trailblazer.
Some people like that, but it's like there's a lot. What is that saying? Heavy is the head that wears a crown. There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff that comes along with being the first. Yeah, you get the accolades and stuff, but that the first 3-4 game losing streak the Spurs have, and Becky Hammond's the head coach.
They be calling for her
this right here. Oh, this situation right here happened, and she was the coach. Y'all the same fire.
You see what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying.
As an Aces season ticket holder, that ain't happening under Becky Hammon. Now it might happen in game 1, right?
You're right.
Guarantee the same thing happened.
You're right.
That ain't because lest we forget the Aces lost by 50 last season, and then proceeded to win game but won for the rest of the regular season, and then won another damn title.
Yep,
that wouldn't have happened under Becky Hammon.
No, it wouldn't have. And Becky Hammon has made me an Aces fan. I was not a fan of the Aces at first, but she and Asia have made me Aces fans.
And what you call?
I love her.
Sydney.
Who?
Sydney Colstein. Am I saying her name right?
Yeah, she ain't. Now she's been gone for like 2-3 years.
I was to say I don't think she's on there.
Yeah, now she's gone.
I said something to Dre the other day. I'll say this before I get up out of here. Don't always just draft out of need. Because when you draft out of need, the Dallas Wings should have drafted Biles. And I don't give a damn that they got Page backers. I would run two guards. I'll run three guards out there. When you go out there and you just draft for need, that's how you end up drafting Darko Milicic over Carmelo Anthony. That's what ends up happening. Well, we don't need another forward. I'll play 3 forwards out there before I draft Darko Milicic's ass.
Well, I tell y'all what, y'all better watch that Atlanta Dream. Just watch them. That's all I'm gonna say.
I've been watching the Dream.
No. The problem is in Minnesota because Minnesota is leading the league and Fee ain't even played yet.
Yep, that's true.
She has. Is nice.
But anyway, this was fun, fellas. Thank y'all for coming. Dennis, I'm gonna open the box and I'm gonna send you a video. Y'all, Dennis sent me a birthday present.
Yeah.
You want us to sing for you right now?
No, we didn't sing. God bless y'all, all right. We had a great show. I just want to let y'all know that you always want to sing to somebody, man.
Y'all want to sing?
Go ahead, Marcus. Solo.
I got a song I wrote.
Don't nobody deserve that.
How can I be sure? Do the Fred Sanford. Just do that.
Right. Go ahead, Marcus. Go ahead.
I can't sing.
Go ahead, Marcus.
As talented as I am, that is not my. We have to know our strengths and weaknesses. That is not one of my strengths.
Marcus, you was singing group. Go on and sing something. Then
go on and sing something.
No, in the show. Bye, y'all. Thank y'all. Have a great day.